The October concert is very special. We've got Scott Yoo coming back to the Manitoba Chamber Orchestra, and he has always been one of our favorite collaborators and conductors. He's going to be actually leading the Vivaldi Four Seasons from the violin, which is something that we're trying to introduce more in the orchestra at the moment. The idea of a leader, a musician, who leads from their instrument for the orchestra as opposed to a conductor. And it creates quite a collaborative atmosphere. It allows the musicians in the orchestra to take more of a leadership role, really, in creating the concert. So Scott will play Vivaldi Four Seasons, which is, of course, a wonderful piece that we all love and enjoy. We also are very happy that we've got a new commission from Randolph Peters, who is one of our Manitoba wonderful composers, and a composer whose work we haven't played so much recently. So we're very glad that he's written us a 10-minute piece, which we're going to be playing on this concert. And the 10-minute piece actually has a very big violin solo for our wonderful concertmaster, Carl Stobbe.
Hi, I'm Randolph Peters. I'm a composer, and I've had the good privilege to write a piece for the Manitoba Chamber Orchestra. The concert is on October 28, and I've got a piece on it for the string orchestra called Everything That Rises. Everything That Rises is graciously supported by the Manitoba Arts Council and by the Manitoba Chamber Orchestra. Now, I've had a long relationship with them. I've been a fan of theirs, an audience member. They've played some of my pieces before, and so I feel like I know about their adventurous programming and the kind of aesthetic that they enjoy and how their audience reacts to the piece. So I feel that this is a piece that is custom made for this orchestra, these players, and this audience, and this room. I can't explain exactly how it works, but I do feel like it's made for this particular time and place and this kind of audience. So I feel like it's a gift in some ways. And as a composer, I have a philosophy that if you listen attentively, I want to reward that effort. So there are things in the piece that I hope will pay off by listening to it carefully. You don't have to listen to it carefully because, you know, there is no right or wrong way to listen to something. But for people who want to know, well, what's this all about? Where's this piece going? What's it trying to say? I hope that there is something that delivers in the end. A lot of times, what gets delivered is hinted at in the title. This title, Everything That Rises, is a partial quote from Pierre de Chardin, a French philosopher who wrote, "Everything that rises must converge." So if you think about those two concepts, rising and converging, you will hear that in this piece, expressed literally by things going higher and eventually converging, but also in terms of depth of harmony, depth of orchestration, that kind of thing. So there is a long term arc to the piece that is reflected in the title. There are elements that harken back to the Baroque era, and then there are things that are, you know, that represent our 21st century ears. And I was trying to bring those two things together. I like doing that a lot in music, where things that don't seem to belong together somehow find a way to find some kind of convergence. I was originally going to call the piece Consilience, which is, has a lot of S's in it, and it's hard for me to say. And also it's a academic kind of sounding word, consilience, where different approaches arrive at some basic truth behind it. But then I found a more poetic quotation, everything that rises must converge. So there is a little bit of material that I've written for Carl Stobbe, the concertmaster. I've known him for years, and so I wanted him to sound a little bit outside the group. And then the piece itself starts with various members of the orchestra get added one at a time, and it builds and builds and builds. But the violin sounds a little bit different. It's outside. It doesn't play the same notes, the same rhythms. It sounds it's like from a different universe. But over the course of the piece, those two elements come together as the piece sort of rises.